All right, guys. So today we have a special Q&A with Mr. Olympia competitor Josh Wade. He's currently 5 weeks after the Olympia, and in my Mountain Dog Facebook group, we got a lot of questions for you. A lot.
I'm ready.
So I'm going to fire away here. We have a lot of questions. By the way, if you guys aren't following Josh on Instagram, his Instagram is
at IFBB Pro Josh Wade. It's that easy.
So all right, so first question is from Kyle Reynolds. What led you towards using John as a coach? Have you ever done a leg day afterwards and thought to yourself, man, F that guy?
John Meadows is my man. For one, obviously, dry, grainy body type. John knows that we are physiologically very similar. So he knows how to manipulate my body. He knows how to work with my body because it's so similar to his, more than any other coach I've had in the past. Family man, values. Values is the number one reason that I basically reached out to John Meadows. If I want to work with somebody, I want it to be somebody that believes in life after bodybuilding. Family first, health no matter what we do. And he's taken me to the top of my level, obviously.
Well, and that kind of leads into the second question. This is from Anders. Anders says, Josh, how do you balance having a family and having energy and time for them while on a contest diet?
You know, I've answered this question not too long ago. I don't sit down. I'm on my feet all day long. Yeah, I'm just like anybody else. When energy's low, if I sit down, I'll crash. So I'm at work about 13 hours a day. I get home and I'm on daddy duty until the kids go to bed. I sit down and I crash. But the excitement, I love the sport. You know, I'm very passionate. I love helping others. I'm a trainer, so I enjoy that portion of it. And that portion of it is what drives me. It keeps me motivated. My energy is always fed off of everybody else. So I always say this, basically, I won't have a client that's an energy vampire. I can't give out all my energy. We reciprocate that energy, and that keeps me going all day long. And then I look forward to going home and spending the valuable time I have with my kids until it's time for me to retire and start my next day.
All right, very good. Okay, this is a pretty easy one here from Renzo. During your diet, do you count trace sources of protein and like rice, oats, and sweet potato, or just count the carbs? I can answer that. We count everything.
Yeah, we count everything, and I'm very meticulous. John knows I won't stray from my diet. If I'm supposed to have 300 grams of rice, which I consider 2 cups cooked, that's exactly what we do. And again, my wife is the most supportive that you can have. She weighs it to the gram. If it's 301, she'll pull out a rice kernel. So I am very meticulous with my diet.
Okay, what we're looking for here is a dollar figure, okay? This is from Boston Bacon. Bacon, I said bacon. If you had $1 for every time someone called you Dorian Yates, how much money would you have?
You know, I would be retired. I still love training, and I'd probably do it for free because I'd have so much money that I wouldn't even have to work.
All right, we have, okay, this is a good one from Leisha. How would you structure your training? How would you structure training as a beginner? It's a great question.
For myself, I mean, you know, kind of like, I'll honestly answer this in John's newest program, Creeping Death 2. It might be based for advanced individuals, but a standard push legs pull. You know, you might need a day between those for rest and recovery. So you do your pushing muscles, you know, chest, shoulders, triceps. You might take a day rest, and then you might do legs. You might take a day rest. You might do back and biceps. So a standard, basically almost like one on, one off, but pretty much 3 days a week weight training is a great way to start it as a standard push legs pull, in my opinion.
Yeah, by the way, I love that too. Push pull legs. I love those splits for beginners, and then just as Josh said, make sure you have rest time in there. Okay, this is from my man Julian. How do you deal with being in prep for so long? Because you've obviously done a lot of shows this year.
You know, Julian, and I appreciate you, man. I truly do. I've been competing over 12 years now. For me, it's a lifestyle. You know, I mean, whether I'm prep or whether I'm off season, it's the same thing. And again, like we just talked about in answering one of the last questions, I am so busy during the day with clients, I don't have time to think about what I want. Structure keeps away chaos for me. So I'm structured, whether it be off season or whether it be prep. I'm eating the same meals because I got to eat between clients. I got to get back to work. I don't have time to go stray. I have to pack my meals. And that keeps me basically in prep, even if it's off season. It's the same clean foods. John just allows me to have a couple cheats a week, take the family out, have a dinner, have a breakfast. But again, I'm structured. So my meals are always prepared in advance. And again, I got to thank my wife, Shannon Wade, for that.
Yeah, and I can vouch for that. Josh is staying in town this week, and he came loaded with all of his food in freezer packs. So he's very prepared, very meticulous. This comes from Juan Rojas. What would you say to yourself, like if you could look at yourself, you go back 10 years and give yourself some advice from back in time 10 years ago, what would you tell yourself?
Never give up. Never give up. In 2015, a lot of people don't know this. I had 2 surgeries. I had my right shoulder scoped, and I had my left tendon tricep reattached, similar to Dorian Yates actually. And in 2015, I thought I was done. I didn't think I was going to come back and compete again, till Dante Trudell reached out to me and basically just said, I didn't see you this year. You're so close. I hope you didn't give up. And at that point, it relit a fire underneath me to want to chase the dream, finish what I started with, and again, never give up. So I came back, and that next day is when I called, September of 2015, called my man, John Meadows, and said, if I'm going to come back, I'm going to do this with you only.
I remember that phone call, and I said, well, first thing we're going to do is go win the Team Universe.
And the rest is history.
Okay, we got time for one more.
And to answer that leg question that I never finished, I'm sorry, buddy. I love the intensity. I love pushing myself. Mentally, I feel as driven as anybody could possibly be. The one time I can truly say I said F John Meadows was the drop set of death Bulgarian split squat. That was friggin' nasty. So that's back into, I think, program 17. I'm not sure.
Oh, that's how you kick off program 17.
What that's called.
Yeah, carnage.
But the Bulgarian split squat drop set of death is one of the nastiest things I've ever done. But I guess what? I finished it.
Okay, so your last question here. Let's go with, we got a lot of questions here on balancing your family time, but you're to answer that. Let's go.
Everything in life has priorities, guys. Completely priorities. Family first. You have to do what you do to provide for your family, but you make sure, when I get home, I try to respond to fans on social media, but when I get home, I spend the time with my family. My phone goes on the counter. Once they go to bed is when I'll pull out and try to respond, because again, fans are very important to me. I want to have a very positive following that I believe I've accomplished, and I try to emulate exactly what Mr. John Meadows stands for.
Okay, last question is, when exactly did you know you wanted to become a bodybuilder? That's a great question.
A childhood dream. Back Flex Magazine is what I grew up on. Flex Wheeler I had a picture of on my wall. And it was just something that as a very skinny kid, I never thought was attainable, but it was something I always strived for. And anything I did, I gave 120%. So I started lifting weights to build confidence. There's a lot of backstory that I have, and we can't get into too much. But I was kind of a punk teenager, lacking confidence, trying to fit in. I was a follower. Weight training is what built my confidence to make me feel like I was a leader. I didn't care what anybody else thought about me anymore, because I felt good about myself. Weight training for me was self-gratification. And from then on, I wanted to pursue that weight training and wanted to see how good I can get, and then constantly trying to push myself to improve. And that's what led me to keep improving. And then I'm not done. 39 years old, just turned in June, and I'm still getting better. So consistency, guys.
It's interesting, because I tell Josh all the time that I had my best progress looking back over the years when I was 39 years old. So, Josh mentioned we were similar from a physiological perspective. I also had a real awesome year when I was 39, headed into age 40. So just kind of interesting how that worked out too.
We're a perfect match.
Okay, guys, I appreciate your questions. Again, make sure you follow Josh on Instagram, and also keep an eye out for him at the Mr. Olympia this year. It's in 5 weeks, so we want to wish Josh the best of luck. This guy is a grinder. He's a blue-collar guy like myself. Not a silver spoon guy. He's worked and earned every single thing he's got. So all you guys out there that are grinding day by day, man, this is the kind of guy you want to follow. So thanks. We'll see you next time.